settled, journalists and photographers staked out positions. Dignitaries gave soaring speeches. King George Hero got the loudest cheer as he orated on draining 1 million more acres, making Louisiana $1 billion richer. Finally came the moment. Engineers spun the turbines. Electricity flowed. Aides telephoned the White House. The crowd held its breath. Then came the president's message, wrote a journalist, handed up by a hastened messenger. And then the pumps began to whir. Introduction. These oozy and muddy lands. The drainage paradox. George Hero first became fascinated with draining swamps as a boy mucking around on a relative's Assumption Parish plantation. No wonder, children seem drawn to manipulating water. Put a child on a beach or by a stream, and little hands immediately get to work ditching, damming, and directing water against gravity and common sense. Perhaps this is because of drainage's instantaneous yoking of cause and effect, the pat clarity of the challenge, or the visibly satisfying transformation of the realm. Drainage is hydraulics applied. When the rain falls on land, some of the water gets absorbed into the soil body or retained on the surface, a portion of which evaporates. The rest, called runoff or stormwater, flows across the surface depending on its hydraulic head, namely the gradient from source to destination, called an outfall, which may be a stream, bayou, river, canal, lake, bay, or ocean. If the hydraulic head is strong, the runoff flows swiftly, and the land surface drains effectively. If weak, runoff flows slowly and may back up on itself. If it's extremely weak, as in southern Louisiana, the runoff ponds to various depths and may become permanently impounded. If that ponded area is forested, it's called a swamp. If it's grassy, it's a marsh. If it merges with tidal zones, it's a saline marsh. And if it's open water, it's a lake or bay. Drainage becomes complicated when humans enter the picture. Runoff that does not drain swiftly can become inconvenient, even intolerable, a flood. Ponding that had naturally formed a swamp or marsh now becomes deemed a disaster. The ensuing engineering interventions aimed to prevent a future flooding disaster drastically alter the value of land to humans, and once that new valuation is built upon, those engineered drainage systems become absolutely essential for any future value to be added. Lives and livelihoods come to depend utterly on that initial decision to muck around with muck by inserting humans and machines in the role that gravity once played. Anthropogenic drainage is simple in theory, yet complex in execution. It has many motivations, but one goal. The word itself defines succinctly, yet has many applications. And while its intention is always envisaged as beneficial, its consequences are often deleterious, in ways often incomprehensible to its advocates. Drainage is one of humanity's biggest, oldest acts of natural defiance, and our cities and farmlands would all be configured very differently, if at all, had we just let dirt and water alone. Drainage is a paradox, and it is key to understanding the paradoxical city of New Orleans. At its most fundamental level, drainage means the removal of a liquid. To a physician, the liquid is a body fluid. To a plumber, it's wastewater. To a civil engineer, it's urban runoff. To a hydrological engineer, it's standing water. And to subsurface hydrologists, it's groundwater. For the urbanist, drainage renders habitability, and for the agriculturalist, it spells the difference between useless mud and rich, loamy soil. Mud, on the contrary, is worse than useless. It is hazardous. It precludes humans and mires their motion. It could immobilize even the greatest army. Ergo, the human predisposition to intervene, like that child at the stream, and fix the intolerable. In the heroic age of engineering, drainage was called reclamation, a term plainly insinuating that hydric soils are a mistake waiting to be corrected, and that humans, through brain and brawn, can claim back that which had been rightfully intended for their use all along. Over the course of a century, waterfront cities like Boston,